Hey guys, Mark Shen here. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to memorize your guitar fretboard. Now, knowing every note in your guitar is one of the most important things that you will learn as a guitar player. Knowing where your notes are will allow you to access chords and scales anywhere you want on the fretboard, and it really is the key to playing guitar at a higher level. Okay, you know, when I'm soloing and when I'm playing chords, I'm always looking for that root note, and so knowing every single note on your fretboard is imperative to you getting better on the guitar. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about a few things. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about different things that you need to know before we begin the exercises. So there's gonna be like the understanding part of memorizing your fretboard, and then there's gonna be the exercise part. So I'm gonna start first with understanding your fretboard. Okay, so we're gonna begin with a method. Okay, and so the first thing you need to know is that fortunately you don't have to memorize every single note. Okay, a lot of notes actually come for free. And by this I mean, you know, if you look at your guitar fretboard, we don't memorize sharps and flats, okay? We only memorize the main notes. The reason for this is that just like on the piano, you know, if you're looking for C sharp, for example, okay, you know, you find your C, right? And you basically sharp is just basically the note right next to it. So C sharp, okay, it's on the right, and C flats, obviously there's a B, okay? But that's how you basically find your sharps and flats, okay? So let's say it's G, okay, here, G sharp would be just right next to it on the right of it, and G flat would be here, okay? So in this sense, there is no need to memorize sharps and flats, fortunately. So that takes off a lot of notes that you need to memorize, okay? So what we'll be working on is just the main notes, okay? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, okay? The next thing you need to know is that the guitar has 2 octaves, okay? For every string, there are 2 octaves. So, and they're exactly the same, okay? I'm going to talk more about exercises that you can do on the higher octave, but for this video, as we're learning to memorize the fretboard, we're just going to only focus on 1 octave, okay? Which is this octave here. So you see this 12th fret here, this 2 dots here, that's your octave, okay? So if you have your open string here, E, A, D, G, B, E, okay? Now when you fret that, it's exactly the same notes, okay? So that's your octave, okay? So we're gonna sort of just kind of do away with this octave for now. Okay, once we learn this 1 octave, then we'll know also the other octave, okay? Now we will also do exercises here to familiarize ourselves with the fact that it's a smaller setup, okay? But for now, we're just gonna learn 1 octave. So there it is, okay? We're gonna only learn the main notes, and we're only gonna learn 1 octave. And once we have that, then we got it. Now, the next thing I wanna talk about is that there are things, there are methods to be able to find notes around the fretboard, and I'm gonna share that with you, okay, using octaves, okay? But there are also things that are not negotiable when it comes to memorizing your fretboard, okay? I'm gonna talk about the first thing. The first thing is that you have to know your open strings, okay? It's real easy, okay? It's E, A, D, G, B, E, okay? The cliche acronym is, you know, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So once you know your E, A, D, G, B, E, okay, that's the first step, okay? You've known your open strings, cool, awesome. That also means you also know every note on your 12th fret, so that's cool. Now, the other things that are not negotiable is you have to know your main notes on your low E and your low A strings, okay? Once we have those notes, which really isn't a lot of notes, okay, then I'll teach you how to find the rest of the notes very easily using octave patterns. So we're gonna start with just learning our low E and our low A strings first, okay? We're gonna start with the first note here, which is F, okay? Turn my volume up, okay? So we're gonna start with the first note, which is F, okay? And you take a step here, F, G, A. So this is the linear pattern, F, G, A, okay? And then the next note will be here, okay? B, C, D, E, okay? So you have F, G, A. Okay, I want you to memorize this pattern, okay? And then you have a B here and C, D, E, okay? So this is not hard to memorize, okay? And then for your A string, okay, your main note starts with a B, okay? On the 2nd fret, and then you have C, D, E, okay? And then you have F, G, A here, G, A, okay? So once you have those things memorized, you have your open strings memorized, and you have those main notes, which really isn't much if you think about it. Okay, those are the only things that are non-negotiable. You know, you have to memorize those notes by heart. Okay, once you have that, we're going to move to the next step, and which is using octave patterns to find the rest of the notes. Okay, so let's say it's an F here. Okay, and we're trying to find the F on all 6 strings. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use an octave pattern. So, okay, so this is an octave pattern. I'll also put the chart on the screen for you to be able to see this. Okay, it's really very easy for the octave for the F. The first octave is basically 2 frets down, 2 strings down, 2 frets down. Okay, so okay, it's kind of like a just diagonal pattern. Now the next one is similar, but just 1 step lower. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, so if you look at it, this is your octave pattern. So you've in this situation you've already found 3 Fs. Okay, your next F here that you've memorized, okay, will give you the other 3 Fs, okay, that you need. Now, just a heads up, okay, your low E string and your high E string, they're exactly the same. So if you have an F here, it also means you have an F here, which means you only are actually memorizing only 5 strings, okay, which is another cool thing. Okay, so we're only working to memorize 5 strings instead of 6. So we have 1 octave here, we have found, okay, these 3 Fs, okay. Next F is here, and okay, but we already know this F here, right? Okay, because this is an octave. So we only need to really see it as this F, okay, this octave right here. Okay, so now that we have these Fs, okay, we're gonna play it like this: F here, F, this, here, here. Okay, and we're gonna go backwards. Okay, that's our Fs. Okay, and the next note we're going to memorize is C. Okay, now we're going to use the same octave pattern to figure out where the notes are. Okay, so we have our C here. We know there's a C here. Okay, the next C we know is on the A string. Well, we'll start with this C first. Okay, we'll do this octave pattern. Okay, and so we have the C here, and this C here is obviously, we're not going to go past this line here because we're trying to memorize 1 octave. So this C here, we're going to play it up here. Okay, so C here, this octave, and here. Okay, so we found that C. Okay, and this C here, same thing, octave pattern as well. Okay, this is how we locate all the Cs in an octave, okay, using octave patterns. So if we play all the Cs, this is what we get. We have C here, 1 here, here, an octave here, so it's right here. Okay, this C here is an octave of this. Okay, and this C here is an octave of this. Okay, so instead of playing here, we don't go past this line here. We play it up here. Okay, we're trying to master just 1 octave because once we master 1 octave, then we have the other octave as well. Okay, and the last one is just a mirror of the low E string. Okay, so you play it like this: C here. Okay. Cool. So you're probably wondering, like, why are we only, learning F and C? Now, of course, it's I'm using a technique right now that I'm going to teach you, which only requires just only 2 notes. But in my guitar program, I do make my students do every single note. So the first would be F, okay, and then next would be G, and then A, and then B, C, D, which means you're running single notes throughout the whole fretboard. So for example, let's say it's G, right? You'll be like this. G, 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 and then backwards. Okay, and I make them do it for all single notes. The reason for this is because, I want my students to be really sharp when they're trying to find their chords on the fretboard. The more familiar you are with where your single notes are, the quicker you'll be able to attack it as far as when you're playing chords or when you're playing scales. So for example, G just now, I just played all those single notes, right? So this is what I'll be playing. So I know that when I see a G on a chord chart, I know what my options are. Here, here. G right here. Okay, and I'm doing this is based on looking at the root, okay, where my roots are, and I'm able to play the chord based on where the roots are. So my roots act as like kind of like anchor points, okay, for me. So now that we know our F notes, okay, we know our F notes, okay, we know our C notes. I'm going to teach you just a very simple pattern. This is a linear pattern, okay. The reason why I like this pattern is because it's even. Okay, you have F, G, A, okay, and the spacing is exactly the same. So we're going to start with F, G, A, with the Fs, okay, and we'll memorize the F, G, As, okay. It's super easy because we already know where our Fs are at this point. So we just go F, G, A, like this, F, G, A. So we're memorizing it 3 notes at a time, which is much more effective, if you ask me. This one here is F, G, A, okay, but we talked about this. We're not going to go past this line, because we're trying to master 1 octave, so we can go F, G, and up here, A, okay? The next one is here, F, G, A, and then the last one comes for free because it's a mirror of the lower E string, okay? So, let me do it again. So F, G, A, 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 okay? So, we know all the F, G, As at 3 notes, okay, that we've memorized right now. Can you see how fast this is happening? This is going to happen very, very quickly for you, especially those of you who've struggled a long time and not been able to memorize your fretboard. And I really hope that this video is going to be like the breakthrough for you, okay? I work extensively with my students when it comes to fretboard memorization because this is super important when it comes to guitar playing. So we know all the FGAs, okay? That's 3 notes that we have figured out already. The next set we're going to do is C, D, E, okay? Now that we know where our C's are, okay? We know our C is here, okay? C, 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 C. We know those 6 C's, okay? We're going to play the same linear pattern. So C, D, E, okay? That way we memorize notes based on a set of 3, which is way, way quicker, okay, than doing 1 at a time, okay? Of course, like I said, doing exercises 1 at a time is also very, very helpful, and I do make my students do it so that you can spot the notes quickly. It's a good exercise. There's no, you can't do too much exercises when it comes to fretboard memorization, okay? So C, D, E. Okay, next set here, C, D, E. Okay, next one here, C, D, and once again, we're not going to cross this line here. Okay, this octave, we're going to go up here. Okay, E, which is essentially just the octave of the lower E string. Okay, so C, D, E, C, D, E, C, D, E, and the C, D, E here. Okay, C, D, E, and then C, D, E. Okay, that's it. So there it is. We have memorized in 2 sets of FGAs and CDEs, we memorized pretty much the whole fretboard. And I know you're asking me like, okay, Mark, we have FGAs, we have CDEs, how about the B? Okay, so as far as B goes, B is basically C flat. Okay, remember we talked about that we don't memorize like sharps or flats because we just gotta find the main note and then we'll have the sharp or flat that we're looking for, right? So if we're looking for, let's say, G flat, okay, you know, we just find the G and just flat it, okay? Same here, G, just flat. So B is basically C flat, okay? Find your C's, your B's right next to it, okay? So find your C, your B's right next to it. C here, your B's right next to it, okay? Of course, you can also use octave patterns to visualize, okay? That's also an easy way, but I like seeing B as just C flat, okay? That's it, for me, it's a very, very easy way of being able to find my B's, okay? And then you can also do the exercise, the B exercise, B here, okay? B here, okay? And then you find the octave here, where your B is, which is this one here, okay? Another way to see is also your C flat. So I can see my C, D, E here, this pattern here, and I also see this B right next to that C, okay? So there's 2 ways of spotting it, okay? B, and then this B here is an open string, okay? And then this B here is as a mirror of that, okay? So that takes care of all 7 notes of the guitar. So we're gonna do an advanced exercise right now, okay? This exercise is called the C major scale exercise. Now, the cool thing about this exercise is that we're gonna play the C major scale, and it's gonna force us to play every single note on the fretboard, every single main note, okay, at least once. And it's gonna change every time we go up and down the fretboard. And so I'm gonna explain what this means. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, okay? So we're gonna start with the low E string, okay? We're gonna start with a C here, okay? And then the next note will be a D, next note will be an E, next note will be be an F. Next note will be a G. Next note will be A. Okay, and then B, but we're coming back this way, right? So B and then C. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And so we're going to keep doing that. And if you look on the screen, okay, I've written out this chart for you. Okay, the idea here is that we're going to go 7 laps, okay? So every time we come back, the notes are going to change. And after you go up and down 7 times, you're going to end back on your C. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate this to you because this is an important exercise. And if you get this whole thing right, if you play this whole thing right under 2 minutes, then we can safely say that you know every note on your fretboard, okay? So I've got a phone here. I'm going to set my timer, okay? And I'm just going to demonstrate this to you. Hopefully I won't take longer than 1 minute 30 seconds. Usually my average is kind of like 1 minute, 20 seconds, 1 minute 15 seconds if I'm doing really well. And so yeah, so please do tell me what your time is in the comment section, and keep coming back and keep watching this video, and keep improving your time, and keep punching in your time. And once you get it under 1 minute 30 seconds, I think you're doing really, really well at that point. If you beat me, also, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. I'm always happy when my students are better than me. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start it. 1, 2, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, 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 C. Stop. Okay. So 1 minute and 14 seconds, 0.31. Okay. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that time. I'm sure I could probably do it a little bit faster, but 1 minute and 30 seconds under is ideal. It means that you are spotting the notes quick enough as you're trying to find it. So yes, so the exercises that I've explained to you in this video, okay, single note exercises, okay, I want you to take that and do it also on the higher octave, because trust me on this, it's going to be different, okay? As you're trying to find notes, you're going to realize that you're going to start struggling because, the fretboard is way smaller here, and so visualizing your notes is going to be a little bit different. So everything that I've taught you on how to memorize your fretboard here, take that and apply it also to this octave. So that's pretty much it. I really hope that this video has helped you. And especially for those of you who've been trying to memorize your fretboard for years on end, there's some of you out there, 5-10 years you've been playing the guitar and you've not been able to memorize your fretboard. And I really hope that this video will give you the breakthrough that you're looking for. Do come back to this video, do hit subscribe, and come back to this video and watch it over and over again and work through the different parts that I've talked about. Okay, and the goal is really to get to that C major exercise, C major scale exercise, and run through the whole thing in under 2 minutes. That's kind of like the goal. Okay, I want to invite you to come and check out my fretboard navigation workshop. Okay, it's a free workshop. Just click the link below, sign up for it. And in that workshop, I'm going to teach you how to use a note that you've memorized to access chords and scales all the fretboard. Now, when I'm playing guitar, majority of the time, okay, we're either playing some kind of chord or we're soloing, over the chord, right? So I'm going to teach you how to navigate and play chords and solos anywhere you want on the fretboard using those notes that you've just memorized, okay? So I'm going to teach you how to use them as anchor points So check it out using the link below. Thanks so much for subscribing, and thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you again real soon.